Welcome you all of you, and this is very important problem in a finite element method for 1D bar problems. Okay, because in this question we have the thickness. Now let me read the question fully. A steel plate of uniform thickness is 25 millimeter and it is subject to a point load of 420 Newton as shown in the figure. The figure is given, the geometry of the figure, everything will be given here, and it is subjected to self weight. Okay, so this is very important to understand in this problem. Okay, so one thing, the thickness is additional here, and another thing is the self weight. Okay, because in many of the 1D bar problems we have seen the cross sectional area is circular, and in this problem there is a thickness, right, and having self weight. If the Young's modulus is 2 into 10 power of 5 Newton per millimeter square and the unit weight density rho is equal to 0.8 into 10 power of minus 4 Newton per millimeter cube. So you need to calculate U, sigma, F and K. Okay, so first you have to study the diagram. The one end is fixed, having one plate, you can say plate. Okay, this and plate. Now how it looks in 3D view I will explain you. Okay, for example, if the one element, this element having 100, okay, and another element is connected here with distance of 80 ohm, right, like this, and it's having thickness here. The element, it's like a plate, right? So it looks like this. Hope you understood now. Okay, now at this end it is connected rigidly. Okay, so the thickness is given. What is the thickness here? It is 25 millimeter. So what will be the area for the element 1 and element 2? So element 1, the area will be 100 into the thickness. Okay, that is for the element 1. It means 100 into 25. Okay, and this will be 200 is given as the length for the element. Okay, that is it means L1. So area will be 100 into the thickness. Okay, when you considering the uniform cross section. So now area for element 1 100 into 25, and for element 2, as I said, it is 80 80 into 20. So this will be the area, cross sectional area. Okay, we are calculating the cross sectional area. So this 100 into 25 as the area for the element 1, and for element 2, so 80 into 25. So we are getting A1 and A2. 80 into 25, 100 into 25. Similarly, this material is uniform, so that the material will be same and Young's modulus will be same. So E is given, it means E1 and E2 will be same. Okay, material will be same, so value of Young's modulus will be definitely same. Now rho value is given 0.8 into 10 power of minus 4 Newton per millimeter cube. Okay, so now let us continue. So here the force, the main problem it will be appear here whenever there is an self weight and density. See, we cannot directly take the force 420 as the load which is applying at node 2. Okay, you have to calculate the body force first. You have to calculate the body force for the entire element. Okay, so because we are considering the self weight. Okay, so how to calculate the body force now? So there is one formula to calculate the body force. This is a formula. Force vector F is equal to, it is rho AL divided by 2 and having a 1 into 1. Okay, so in the body force, now if you take the element 1, Okay, let us say this is element 1. So for element, the connectivity are 1 to 2. So there will be F1 and F2 is equal to row 1, row will be same, row A1 L1 divided by 2, 1 and 1. For element 2, the connectivity will be F2, F3, forces connectivity, and the formula will be row 2 A2 L2 by 2, 1, 1. Row will be same, okay. So just for identification, we are saying row 1 and row 2. That's it. So now you have to substitute to calculate the for element 1. It is mentioned here for element 1. F is equal to, it is value of density 0.8 into 10 power of minus 4 into area for element 1, which already I explained you. Okay. So area how much you are getting here? Just check there. So area is for element 1 100 into 25. Okay, so it means you are getting 250. 2500 is the area. Okay, so area is 2500. It is mentioned here. Okay, actually there is a L in the last, but the area is mentioned here, and the length is 200 here. This one is L, and this is the row divided by 2. So you can calculate this and you are getting 20. Okay, so 20 f1 and f2 is equal to 20. You just calculated this one now, that you got as 20. Okay, but there is a 1 into 1 also, so you have to take this 20 inside the matrix. So you are definitely getting 20 20 like this, right? So f1 is 20, f2 is 20 when you take the outside value inside the matrix or make the multiplication. Similarly, you have to do for element 2 also. There will be row A2 L2 by 2, 1 1. So row value again same, and area for element 2 is 18 to 25. So 80 into 25 you are getting 2000, and this is the length divided by 2, so you got 16. Similarly, you have to do 16 as F2 and this as F3. So what the force you are getting? F1, this is not the direct force, okay, still there is a procedure to calculate the forces. F1 is equal to 20, and F2 is 20 here, and for element 2 also you got F2 16 and F3 16. Okay, this is one matrix, this one matrix, because it's not visible here, so that I have written again. Okay, so you got F2 F2 two times. So how you have to add them? Okay, so you have to add them so that you will get F1 F2 F3 vector easily. So now you have to assemble in the global force vector F1 F2 F3. Already I told you F1 is 20 and F2 is equal to 20 plus 16. 20 plus 16 you got in 36, and F3 is again 16, right? So you got 36 here, 20 and 16. So what about this 420? 420 is the point load where it is applied at node 2. Okay, it means we have to consider the load to node is 420, that we can say P is equal to. Now to take the force vector at 2, so 36 plus 420 you have to add, so that you are getting 456. So what will be the force vector now finally? It is 20, 456, again 16. This is F1, F2 and F3. Okay. After calculating the force vector, then the remaining procedure it will be same. Okay, just you have to follow same procedure which I explained in many of the videos. Okay, that you can follow. Okay, so remaining procedure you can just check out. I will just move on. Okay, you just cross check the values which will be substituted here. This is for the stiffness matrix for element 1, and this is for the stiffness matrix for element 2, and after that we are going to make the global stiffness matrix to calculate K. Okay, adding both the matrix 1 and matrix 2. This is this is 1, this one will be 1 and this one will be 2. Equation, make these two to be adding by using global stiffness matrix, then apply the boundary conditions. Okay, what are the boundary conditions here? U1, U2, U3, this is K, this is U is equal to F. Okay, so K is calculating from global stiffness matrix. U1, U2, 3, force are F1, F2, F3. Okay, so already you have calculated force vector 20, 456, 16. So what will be the boundary condition for this problem? Okay, so when you see the diagram, the only one end is fixed. It means rigid here, so that the boundary condition will be 0 at only at node 1. It means U1 is 0, so their first row and first column will be eliminated. So this will be the remaining now, all this. So make it separate now so that you can calculate the unknown displacements like U2, U3, how to calculate. Okay, so use the same method, matrix multiplication, then find what is the U2 value and U3 value. Just do the basic calculation, right? After that, the stresses formula, sigma is equal to E into U2 minus U1 divided by L1. Just substitute their values which you calculated just now. Okay, so anyhow U1 will be 0, so U2 you have to substitute, then L1 value or length, L1 and L2 both are same, equal, so that you are getting the stresses at element 1 is 0.188 into Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, you have to calculate for sigma 2, only the formation will be U3 minus U2 divided by L2. Then this is a stress at element 2. Okay, hope you understood, and thank you for watching the video. Please do subscribe and do supporting the channel.